So, very good evening, all the participants. Today, we'll start with this fast track corporate insolvency resolution process. Only 4 sections are there: 55, 56, 57, and 58. Forms are same as in case of normal CIRP. So, forms for this fast track corporate insolvency resolution process are same. Default amount is also same, 1 crore. The only difference is that it is restricted to only certain type of companies. It is not open to every company which is into insolvency or which wants to go into this process. So only very limited class of companies are entitled. So section 55, what it says, and as the name implies, fast track. So fast track means something faster. So period is shorter, extension time is also shorter. But most of the regulations, forms, etc. are same. It is something similar to CIRP process with little variation. Because the period is short, so naturally timelines are also accordingly shortened. Just a minute. हेलो. हाँ जी नमस्कार जी. हाँ. अब मैं बात करा दूंगा. हाँ मैं करा. ठीक. Yes. So fast track corporate insolvency resolution process. A corporate insolvency resolution process carried out in accordance with this chapter shall be called as fast track corporate insolvency resolution process. And an application for fast track corporate insolvency resolution process may be made in respect of the following corporate debtors. So only restricted to following types of corporate debtors, namely corporate debtor with assets and income below a level as may be notified by the central government, right? So it says an application may be made. It's not saying who can make the application. It says in respect of the following corporate debtors, an application for fast track CIRP can be made. Number 1, corporate debtor with assets and income below a level as may be notified by the central government. Second, corporate debtor with such class of creditors or such amount of debt as may be notified by the central government. Such other category of corporate persons as may be notified by the central government. So these are the only 3 types of corporate debtors in respect of which this fast track CIRP application may be made. And it has to be by way of a notification. And what is the time period? Time period is just half. Time period is it shall be completed within a period of 90 days from the insolvency commencement date. And the resolution professional shall file an application to the adjudicating authority to extend the period of the fast track CIRP beyond 90 days if instructed to do so by a resolution passed at a meeting of the committee of creditors and supported by a vote of 75%. Just a minute. I think I have not shared the screen. Yes. Now I think screen is visible. So we started from here, right? Time period is just half. 90 days, an extension if instructed to do so by a COC and supported by vote of 75%. So this voting share is different here. In normal CIRP it is 66, here it is 75. And on receipt of an application under subsection 2, if the adjudicating authority is satisfied that the subject matter of the case is such that fast track corporate insolvency resolution process cannot be completed within a period of 90 days, it may by order extend the duration of such process beyond the said period of 90 days by such further period as it thinks fit, but not exceeding 45 days. So 90 days normal, 45 days extension. Provided that any extension of the fast track corporate insolvency resolution process under this section shall not be granted more than once, right? So nothing like 330 or 1/2 of 330. 90 plus 45. Section 57 talks of the manner of initiating fast-track corporate insolvency resolution process. And it says an application for fast-track corporate insolvency resolution process may be filed by a creditor or corporate debtor as the case may be. So it can be filed either by a creditor or corporate debtor. So an application may be filed under form number 6. फॉर्म नंबर 6 है ना कॉर्पोरेट डेटर के लिए सेक्शन 10 वाली एप्लीकेशन. Along with the proof of the existence of default as evidenced by records available with an information utility or such other means as may be specified by the board, and such other information as may be specified by the board to establish that the corporate debtor is eligible for fast track corporate insolvency resolution process. Right? Manner of initiating fast track corporate insolvency resolution process. Section 58. Then section 58 says that the process for conducting CIRP under chapter 2 and the provisions relating to offences and penalties under chapter 7 shall apply to this chapter as the context may require. So normal CIRP provisions will also apply as the context may require. So section 55 for debtors with debts below a limit and a certain class of creditors or as notified by the government. 56 RP can file for 90 days extended by 45 days. 57 says creditor or debtor may file as per the specified format, and 58 says the process as in chapter 2 above and offences and penalties in chapter 7 shall apply. Now, it says an application for fast track corporate insolvency resolution process may be made in respect of the following corporate debtors. One is the small sized company. So for small sized company, we have to go as per the definition in Companies Act, or startup company other than partnership firm, or an unlisted company with total assets not exceeding 1 crore rupees as reported in the books of the preceding financial year. So these are the three types of corporate debtors where the application for fast track CIRP may be made. One is for small sized companies, then for startups, and then unlisted companies with total assets not exceeding 1 crore rupees. And here the total assets means the WDV of the assets, because we have to go as per the definition in Companies Act. Now regarding this definition of small company. So what it says, the criteria for small companies has undergone changes from time to time. But the definitions which will be applicable for our syllabus will be paid up share capital 4 crore rupees and turnover, maximum turnover of 40 crore. So small company. What is the definition of small company? Because it says small company. So small company is defined in section 2, subsection 85 of the Companies Act. It means a company other than a public company. So it cannot be a public company. So if they give you a question that a limited company wants to initiate a CIRP process or it wants to undergo this process, so then whether it is eligible for fast track, the answer will be no. It has to be other than a public company. So public company is outside the definition of small company. One is whose paid up share capital does not exceed 50 lakhs or such higher amount as may be prescribed, because then as per rules they go on changing the limits. So paid up capital as per the present rules applicable for our syllabus is 4 crore rupees, right? And turnover of which as per the profit and loss count for the immediately preceding financial year does not exceed 2 crores or such higher amount as may be prescribed. So then as per rules they can change it, and now the turnover is 40 crore rupees, right? For our syllabus. After our syllabus, I think our syllabus is applicable up to 4th of February 2025. Provided that nothing in this clause shall apply to a holding company or a subsidiary company. So if it is a holding company or a subsidiary company of another company, if it is a Section 8 company, if it is a company or body corporate governed by any special act like LIC, Food Corporation of India, or some other companies which are governed by special acts, then also they are outside the definition of small company. So here the turnover means the gross amount of revenue. Because for turnover also we have to refer to section 2 subsection 91 of the Companies Act where turnover is defined. So one is the small size company. Small size company we have already seen. Basically, you have to remember 4 crore and 40 crore. 4 crore paid up capital, turnover up to 40 crores. Now let us see the definition of startups. Okay, what is the definition of startup and what is the definition of an unlisted company? Now regarding small company we have already covered. Now definition of startup. An entity shall be considered as a startup if it satisfies all of the following conditions. If it is incorporated or registered as any of the following. One is private limited company, then partnership firm. But here partnership firm is not covered because we are dealing with corporate persons only. Please remember here we are reading the definition of startup, right? Then LLP registered under LLP Act or one person company as defined in Companies Act. Provided that such entity is not formed by splitting up or reconstruction of a business already in existence. It has completed 10 years since incorporation or registration as above, and its turnover for any of the financial years has not exceeded 100 crore rupees. And it satisfies any of the following conditions. It is working towards innovation of new products, processes or services, or development of new products, processes or services, or improvement of existing products, processes or services, and it's a scalable business model with a high potential of employment generation or wealth creation. So this is the definition of startup. So if it is covered under the definition of startup, then also it is eligible for fast track CIR. This is the notification because this section says that it has to be issued by way of a notification. Just a minute. Let us see this notification also. So what it says, an entity shall be considered as a startup up to a period of 10 years from the date of incorporation or registration. If it is incorporated as a private limited company or registered as a partnership firm or a limited liability partnership in India, and turnover of the entity in India is also important. So if any LLP is incorporated outside India, then also it will not be eligible. Turnover of the entity for any of the financial years since incorporation registration has not exceeded 100 crore rupees. An entity is working towards innovation, development or improvement of products or processes or services, or if it is a scalable business model with a high potential of employment generation or wealth creation. Provided that an entity formed by splitting up or reconstruction of an existing business shall not be considered as a startup. And an entity shall cease to be a startup on completion of 10 years from the date of its incorporation or registration, or if its turnover for any previous year exceeds 100 crore rupees. Right? And Act means the Income Tax Act. And this is the process for registration. So this notification has been issued by Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Okay, what is the meaning of startup for this purpose? So you can go through this. So it has been recognized by DPIIT. This is the form and the declaration. Period we have already seen. And third criteria is the value of its assets does not exceed 1 crore rupees. An unlisted company. Third criteria is an unlisted company with total assets not exceeding 1 crore rupees as reported in the books of the preceding financial year. So now if they ask you whether a listed company can go in for fast track, whether a listed company can go in for fast track, what will be your answer?
No.
But if it is covered under the definition of startup, let us again see the definition of startup. So in startup also, it is not covered. Private limited, partnership, LLP or one person company. So public limited company is ruled out here in startup, right? In small company also, it cannot be a public company. And third is an unlisted company. So a listed company is ruled out. An unlisted company with total assets not exceeding 1 crore rupees. And 1 crore rupees here means the WTB. So these are the only three conditions for availing this fast track CIRP process. बस इतना ही है fast track CIRP process. Now let us see the regulations, the important regulations here. What are the regulations? In regulations also, I have highlighted the important points. Okay, whatever are the changes from the normal CIRP process. So there is a definition of dissenting financial creditor. It says dissenting financial creditor means a financial creditor who voted against the resolution plan or abstained from voting for the resolution plan approved by the committee. Right? So this is the definition of dissenting financial creditors. Evaluation matrix means such parameters to be applied and the manner of applying such parameters as approved by the committee for consideration of resolution plans for its approval. Fair value means the estimated realizable value of the assets of the corporate debtor if they were to be exchanged on the insolvency commencement date between a willing buyer and a willing seller in an arm's length transaction after proper marketing and where the parties had acted knowledgeably, prudently, and without compulsion. Fast track process means the fast track insolvency resolution process for corporate persons. Okay? And fast track process period means the period of 90 days beginning from the fast track commencement date and ending on the 90th day. So regulation 2 talks of definitions, then regulation 3 eligibility. Eligibility criteria is same as in case of CIRP. Okay? The only difference is here it is 10%. In normal CIRP it is 5%. 5% or more of the gross turnover of such firm. Right? Access to books. So it says without prejudice to section 17(2)(d), the IRP may access the books of account records. So this is something similar to CIRP process. Extortionate credit transaction that we have already studied in normal CIRP. Public announcement. So it says an insolvency professional shall make a public announcement immediately on his appointment as an IRP, and immediately means not later than 3 days, which is the case in normal CIRP also. Right? And the formalities are same. Public announcement is in Form A and it shall be published in one English and one regional language newspaper with wide circulation. The applicant shall bear the expenses of the public announcement, which may be reimbursed by the committee to the extent it ratifies them. And it says the expenses of the public announcement shall not form part of the fast track process costs. Okay. Claims by operational creditors shall be made in Form B. Claims by financial creditors in Form C. Claims by workmen employees Form D. Claims where there are numerous workmen by an authorized representative in Form E. Other creditors Form F. Cost of proving has to be borne by the creditor. Submission of proof of claim. Here also there is a change. Subject to sub-regulation 2, a creditor shall, because in CIRP there are so many restrictions, 14 days, then 90 days, then 7 days before the date of meeting for the approval of the resolution plan and so on. Here it says, a creditor shall submit proof of his claim on or before the last date mentioned in the public announcement, and a creditor who fails to submit proof of claim within the time stipulated in the public announcement may submit proof of such claim to the IRP or RP as the case may be till the approval of a resolution plan by the committee. So till the time the resolution plan is approved, claim may be submitted. Okay. Verification of claims has to be done within 7 days from the last date of the receipt of claims. Right. List of creditors shall be available for inspection by the persons who submitted proofs of claim, available for inspection by members, partners, directors and guarantors, displayed on the website of the CD, filed with the adjudicating authority and presented at the first meeting of the committee. Determination. So, if the amount is not precise or cannot be determined, then best estimate. It may be revised also based upon additional information. Debts in foreign currency to be valued in Indian currency at the official exchange rate as on the fast track commencement date. An official exchange rate means the reference rate published by RBI or derived from such reference rate. Now, committee with only operational creditors. So, normally the committee of creditors shall consist of unrelated financial creditors, but where the corporate debtor has no financial debt or where all the financial creditors are related parties, the committee shall be set up in accordance with this regulation. 18 largest operational creditors by value, provided that if the number of operational creditors is less than 18, the committee shall include all such operational creditors. One representative elected by all workmen other than those workmen included under subclause A, and one representative elected by all employees other than those employees included in the subclause A. And every member of the committee formed under this regulation shall have voting rights in proportion of the debt due to such creditor or debt represented by such representative as the case may be to the total debt. For the purpose of this sub-regulation, total debt means the sum of the amount of debt due to the creditors listed in sub-regulation 2A. So, what we will do? We will total the debt of 18 largest operational creditors by value, amount of aggregate debt due to workmen and amount of aggregate due to employees. Okay. And a committee formed under this regulation and its members shall have the same rights, powers, duties and obligations as a committee comprising financial creditors and its members as the case may be. Now here the examiners sometimes ask this question. Suppose an operational creditor is a related party. So whether he will be included? What will be your answer? Whether the concept of related party will apply regarding this operational creditors also, or it is applicable only in case of financial creditors? The answer is it equally applies in case of operational creditors also. It clearly says a committee formed under this regulation and its members shall have the same rights, powers, duties and obligations as a committee comprising financial creditors and its members as the case may be. Then filings by the IRP. The IRP shall file a report certifying the constitution of the committee to the adjudicating authority on or before the expiry of 21 days from the date of his appointment. And based on the records of the corporate debtor and claims, if the IRP is of the opinion that the fast track process is not applicable, so there may be certain situations because it is restricted to only specific type of companies, small companies, startups and unlisted companies. Asset side not exceeding 1 crore rupees. Now suppose the IRP is of the opinion that the fast track process is not applicable to the corporate debtor As per notifications under section 55(2), he shall file an application to the adjudicating authority along with the report in sub-regulation 1 to pass an order converting the fast track to CIR under chapter 2 of part 2 of the code. So this fast track, it may be converted to normalcy based upon the report of the IR. Right? If the adjudicating authority passes an order converting fast track to CIRP, the process shall be carried out in accordance with the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India CIRP regulations. And the IRP shall convene the first meeting of the committee within 7 days of filing of the report under this regulation. Right? Now regarding meetings of the committee. A resolution professional may convene a meeting of the committee as and when he considers necessary and shall convene. So it is mandatory for him to convene the meeting if a request to that effect is made by members of the committee representing 33% of the voting rights. Notice is subject to this regulation. A meeting of the committee shall be called by giving not less than 7 days notice. In case of normal CIRP, what is the period? It is 5 days, I think.
5 days.
So here it is not less than 7 days notice in writing to every creditor delivered at the address he has provided to the RP, and such notice may be served by hand delivery or by registered post, but in any event be served on every participant by electronic means in accordance with regulation 20. The committee may reduce the notice period from 7 days to such other period of not less than 24 hours as it deems fit. Right? So notice period may be reduced to not less than 24 hours. Okay? As it deems fit. Committee. Now service of notice by electronic means. This is the same as in case of normal CIRP.
Yeah.
Contents of the notice. The notice shall inform the participants of the venue, the time and the date of the meeting, and of the option available to them to participate through video conferencing or other audio and visual means, and shall also provide all the necessary information to enable participation through such means. The notice of the meeting shall provide that a creditor may attend and vote in the meeting either in person or through an authorized representative. Provided that such creditor shall inform the RP in advance of the meeting of the identity of the AR who will attend and vote at the meeting on its behalf. So it has to be informed in advance. And the notice of the meeting shall contain an agenda of the meeting with the following: list of matters to be discussed, list of the issues to be voted upon at the meeting, and copies of all documents relevant to the matters to be discussed and the issues to be voted upon at the meeting. And the notice of the meeting shall state the process and the manner for voting and the time schedule, including the time period during which the votes may be cast. Provide the login ID and the details of a facility for generating password and for keeping security and casting of an electronic vote in a secure manner. And provide contact details of the person who will address the queries connected with the meeting. Quorum. So quorum. Meeting shall be quorate if members of the committee representing at least 33% of the voting rights are present either in person or by video conferencing or other audio and visual means. Right? Provided that the committee may modify the percentage of voting rights required for quorum in respect of any future meetings of the committee. Where a meeting of the committee could not be held for want of quorum, unless the committee has previously decided otherwise, the meeting shall automatically stand adjourned at the same time and place on the next day. And in the event a meeting of the committee is adjourned in accordance with sub-regulation 2, the adjourned meeting shall be quorate with the members of the committee attending the meeting. So that at that time, this quorum shall not be of much relevance. Now participation through video conference. So naturally sufficient security, etc. No person other than the intended participants is attending or has access. Now suppose a meeting is conducted through video conferencing or other audio and visual means. the scheduled venue of the meeting as set forth in the notice convening the meeting, which shall be in India, shall be deemed to be the place of the said meeting, and all recordings of the proceedings at the meeting shall be deemed to be made at such place. Conduct of meeting. The resolution professional shall act as the chairperson of the meeting of the committee. And at the commencement of a meeting, now before we do this, on this participation through video conferencing, any questions which you think the examiner may ask? One of the question could be regarding the interruptions in the meeting. Suppose some Wi-Fi issue is there, connectivity issue is there, then what you will do in such a situation? So it says it shall make necessary arrangements to ensure uninterrupted and clear video or audio and visual connection. So it is the duty of the RP to make necessary arrangements to ensure uninterrupted and clear video or audio and visual connection. Now regarding AI, what is your view? Because these days people attend the meeting through AI also. So some AI companion is there who is taking notes. So whether it is permissible or not, that is also an angle which needs to be explored. Because I think it is my personal view that if you allow, because Google will ask your permission. If you are attending the meeting through say this ये कौन सा आजकल आ रहा है ऑट्रई क्या है वो एक है ना ऐप जो जिसके थ्रू एआई वाला जो ऐप है जिसके थ्रू लोग मीटिंग अटेंड करते हैं otter.ai तो otter.ai अगर होगा तो आई थिंक द सीक्रेसी ऑफ द मीटिंग में बी कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि वी शुड अलाउ एनी सच थिंग बाकी इस पर थोड़ा सा और आप कीजिए थोड़ा स्टडी तो ये जो otter.ai है या कोई भी एआई वाला है एआई कंपेनियन वेदर इट इज अलाउड क्योंकि यहाँ क्या बोलता है टू सेफगार्ड द इंटेग्रिटी ऑफ द मीटिंग भाई अगर somebody is eavesdropping अगर मान लो गूगल भी सुन रहा है आपकी बातें गूगल मीटिंग को सुन रहा है तो फिर तो आप सोचो सिक्योरिटी इज कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड
सर ये ई में नहीं आएगा टू एंश्योर दैट नो पर्सन अदर देन द इंटेंडेड पार्टिसिपेंट्स मतलब only the actual and genuine participants who are authorized to attend only will attend. So any other attendance either through AI will be ruled out as per E.
हाँ लगता तो यही है Now conduct of the meeting. The resolution professional shall act as the chairperson of the meeting of the committee. At the commencement of a meeting, the resolution professional shall take a roll call when every participant attending through video conferencing or other audio and visual means shall state for the record his name, whether he is attending in the capacity of a member of the committee or any other participant, whether he is representing a member or group of members, the location from where he is participating, that he has received the agenda and all the relevant material for the meeting so that he cannot raise any issue subsequently that I did not receive the agenda, etc. And that no one other than him is attending or has access to the meeting. Just at the location of that person. After the roll call, the RP shall inform the participants of the names of all persons who are present for the meeting and confirm if the required quorum is complete. The resolution professional shall ensure that the required quorum is present throughout the meeting. From the commencement of the meeting till its conclusion, no person other than the participants and any other person whose presence is required by the RP, maybe some stenographer, maybe someone who is taking notes, or maybe some attending staff, shall be allowed access to the place where meeting is held or to the video conferencing or other audio and visual facility without the permission of the RP. The RP shall ensure that the minutes are made in relation to each meeting of the committee and such minutes shall disclose the particulars of the participants who attended the meeting in person through video conferencing or other audio and visual means. Right? The resolution professional shall circulate the minutes of the meeting to all participants by electronic means within 48 hours of the said meeting. Okay. So this 48 hours is the maximum period. Okay. Within 48 hours.
Sir, can any other participant record the proceedings of the meeting?
It says because it amounts to allowing the access. So allowing the access cannot be done without the permission of the resolution.
Yes, sir.
So he has to seek the permission.
Right.
And normally they do not even share the recording. Another question could be, suppose he is circulating the minutes. So if somebody asks to share the recording, whether it's obliged, the answer is no.
Okay.
Recording he will be doing. But suppose tomorrow there is some issue. So before the adjudicating authority, those recordings may be produced. But only minutes have to be shared, not the recording. Voting by the committee. The actions listed in section 28(1) shall be considered in meetings of the committee. Section 28(1) we have already seen. Matters which require prior approval of the COC with 66% majority. So they shall be considered in meetings of the committee. So it has to be considered only in meetings of the committee. And any actions other than those listed in section 28(1) may be considered in meetings of the committee. So if any issue comes up, which is covered under section 28 subsection 1, so for that purpose, meeting has to be compulsorily called. The resolution personnel may, at the meeting, take a vote of the members of the committee who are participating in the meeting on any item listed for voting after discussion on the same. So first there will be discussion and then there will be voting. The resolution personnel shall circulate the minutes of the meeting by electronic means to all the members of the committee within 48 hours of the conclusion of the meeting. Okay. Now, please remember, it says to all members of the committee. It is not saying to all the participants. It's saying to all the members of the committee. And there is a difference between member of the committee and a participant. Seek a vote on the matters listed for voting in the meeting from the members of the committee who did not participate in the meeting or who did not vote at the meeting, if any, by electronic means or electronic voting system, where the voting shall be kept open for 28 hours, 24 hours from the circulation of the minutes. So sometimes, because suppose an officer has come from the bank and is not able to take an immediate decision, so he does not vote at the meeting. So in that cases, meeting is kept open. Recent in CIRP provisions, there are a lot of changes recently, but in fast track, there are no such changes. इसमें कोई change हुआ नहीं है. ठीक है? So it shall be kept open for 24 hours from the circulation of the minutes. At the end of the voting period, the electronic voting portal shall forthwith be blocked. And once a vote on resolution is cast by a member of the committee, such member shall not be allowed to change it subsequently. ये भी कई बार क्वेश्चन आता है कि एक मेंबर ने वोट कास्ट कर दिया, उसके बाद क्या चेंज कर सकता है? नहीं. He is not allowed to change it subsequently. The resolution personnel shall, within 24 hours of the conclusion of the voting or 48 hours of the conclusion of the meeting, if no electronic vote is required to be sought under this regulation, circulate by electronic means the decision of the committee on agenda items along with the names of the members of the committee who voted for or against the decision or abstained from voting. So all these things are circulated. ठीक है. दो सिचुएशन हो सकती है मीटिंग में. एक तो ये है कि कई मीटिंग तो ऐसी होती है जिसमें वोटिंग होती ही नहीं. ठीक है, सिर्फ डिस्कशन ही होता है. कई बार ऐसी मीट होती है जिसमें वोटिंग भी हो गई और सबने वहां पर वोट कर दिया. थर्ड टाइप ऑफ मीटिंग क्या हो सकती है? मीटिंग हुई, वोटिंग भी हुई, लेकिन कुछ लोगों ने उस पर वोट नहीं किया. अब वोट नहीं होने की वजह से क्या हुआ? वो जो रिक्वायर्ड परसेंटेज है 66, 75, 90 वो अचीव नहीं हुई, तो उनको वोटिंग विंडो ओपन रखनी पड़ती है ना. तो वोटिंग विंडो ओपन कब तक रखनी है आपको? 24 आवर्स फ्रॉम द सर्कुलेशन ऑफ द मिनट्स. और उसके बाद में विद इन 24 आवर्स ऑफ द कंक्लूजन ऑफ द वोटिंग, or 48 hours of the conclusion of the meeting if no electronic vote is required to be sought. ठीक है, तो he shall circulate by electronic means the decision of the committee on agenda items. मतलब 1 मिनट तो उसने पहले सर्कुलेट कर दिया, ठीक है ना, जब मीटिंग खत्म हुई वो सर्कुलेट कर दी हुई विद इन 48 आवर्स ऑफ द कंक्लूजन ऑफ द मीटिंग। उसके बाद में वोटिंग विंडो ओपन रही 24 आवर्स तक, ठीक है, और उसके भी 24 आवर्स में आपको ये सर्कुलेट करने, या 48 आवर्स ऑफ द कंक्लूजन ऑफ द मीटिंग इफ नो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोट इज रिक्वायर्ड टू बी सॉट अंडर दिस रेगुलेशन। ठीक है, मतलब दोनों केसेस में 48 आवर्स में हो गया। For the purposes of these regulations, the expressions voting by electronic means and its grammatical variant or electronic voting system means a secured system based process of display of electronic ballots, recording of votes of the members of the committee, and the number of votes polled in favor or against, such that the voting exercised by way of electronic means gets registered and counted in an electronic registry in a centralized server with adequate cyber security. ठीक है, secured system means computer hardware, software and procedure that are reasonably secure from unauthorized access and misuse, provide a reasonable level of reliability and correct operation, are reasonably suited to perform the intended functions, and adhere to generally accepted security procedures. Conduct of the fast track process. Appointment of registered valuer. Normal CIRP कितने होते हैं? 2,
Yes.
sometimes 3 also. यहां पर कितने? 1 रजिस्टर्ड वेल्यूअर, थोड़ा सा चेंज है ना। द रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल शैल विद इन 7 days of his appointment appoint 1 registered value, 2 or 3 in other cases, to determine the fair value and the liquidation value of the corporate debtor in accordance with regulation 34. ठीक है, बाकी ये तो सेम ही है कि following person shall not be appointed as registered valuer, namely a relative of the resolution professional, a related party of the corporate debtor, an auditor of the corporate debtor at any time during the 5 years preceding the insolvency commencement date. A partner or director of the IPE of which the RP is a partner or director. ठीक है, transfer of debt due to creditors. In the event a creditor assigns or transfers the debt due to such creditor to any other person during the fast track process period, both parties shall provide the IRP or the RP as the case may be, the terms of such assignment, ठीक है, and the identity of the assignee or transferee. ठीक है, तो ये आपको देना है, टर्म्स ऑफ सच असाइनमेंट along with the identity of the assignee or transferee, क्योंकि जो असाइनर है उसकी आइडेंटिटी तो ऑलरेडी है ही सीडी के पास। The resolution professional shall notify each creditor and the adjudicating authority of any resultant change in the committee within 2 days of such change. ठीक है, सेल ऑफ एसेट्स आउटसाइड द ऑर्डिनरी कोर्स ऑफ बिजनेस, ये सब वही है जैसे वहां पर था। द रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल में सेल अनएनकम्बर्ड एसेट्स, एक तो एनकम्बर्ड एसेट्स को तो बेच ही नहीं सकते आप, है ना, ये सेम वहां पर भी यही है। अदर देन इन द ऑर्डिनरी कोर्स ऑफ बिजनेस if he is of the opinion that such a sale is necessary for a better realization of value under the facts and circumstances of the case, provided that the book value of all assets sold during fast track process period in aggregate under the sub-regulation shall not exceed 10% of the total claims admitted by the IR. ठीक है, and a sale of assets under this regulation shall require the approval of the committee. ठीक है, a bona fide purchaser of assets sold under this regulation shall have a free and marketable title to such assets, notwithstanding the terms of the constitutional documents of the corporate debtor, shareholders agreement, joint venture agreement or other document of a similar nature. अच्छा, यहां पर पूछ सकता है, क्या कहता है, सेल ऑफ एसेट्स अंडर दिस रेगुलेशन शैल रिक्वायर द अप्रूवल ऑफ द कमेटी। तो कितना परसेंट इसमें चाहिए अप्रूवल के लिए?
The 66.
66 नहीं, अप्रूवल लिखा है उसने, सिर्फ परसेंटेज तो दिया नहीं। जब परसेंटेज नहीं दिया तो सीआईआरपी में क्या रेगुलेशन, सीआईआरपी में क्या बोलते हैं, सीआईआरपी बोलता है नॉट लेस देन 51%।
51%.
अगर कहीं नहीं लिखा है तो नॉट लेस देन 51%। अगर 66 होता तो लिख देता है, यहां लिखा नहीं है 66।
Right, sir.
हाँ। और सीआईआरपी में भी देख लीजिए एक बार, सीआईआरपी में कुछ लिखा है क्या? इसी का
Same.
तो कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग प्रोविजन है, देख सकते हैं क्या?
Yes, sir.
मेरे पास अभी बुक नहीं है, एक बार आप देख लीजिए अगर मिलता है तो। बुक ऊपर रखी हुई है, ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा मुझे तो। चलिए, असिस्टेंस ऑफ लोकल डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। So the IRP or the RP, as the case may be, may make an application to the adjudicating authority for an order seeking the assistance of the local district administration in discharging its duties under the code or these regulations. ठीक है। Now fast track process costs. So fast track process cost shall mean the amount of any interim finance and the costs incurred in raising such finance. तो क्या लिखा, जो भी अमाउंट है और जो कॉस्ट इनकर्ड है, कॉस्ट इनकर्ड में क्या आ गया, इंटरेस्ट भी आ गया, और अगर और कोई प्रोसेसिंग चार्जेस वगैरह हैं वो भी आ जाएंगे, क्योंकि क्या वर्ड लिखा, कॉस्ट इनकर्ड। कई जगह क्या लिखा है, इंटरेस्ट लिखा है, कई जगह इंटरेस्ट भी लिखा है फॉर 24 months, है ना, 12 months, और द पीरियड फॉर विच द लोन इज टेकन विच एवर इज अर्लियर, है ना। यहां पर क्या लिखा है, अमाउंट ऑफ एनी इंटरिम फाइनेंस एंड द कॉस्ट इनकर्ड इन रेजिंग सच फाइनेंस। ठीक है। Fees payable to any person acting as RP, any cost incurred in running the business, any cost incurred, ये सारा तो बाकी तो सेम सेम सा ही है। Essential supplies सेम है। Essential goods and services referred to in section 14 subsection 2 shall mean electricity, water, telecommunication services and information technology services, to the extent these are not a direct input to the output produced or supplied by the corporate debtor। ठीक है। Cost of IRP, the applicant shall fix the expenses to be incurred on or by the IRP। ठीक है। And the adjudicating authority shall fix expenses where the applicant has not fixed expenses under sub-regulation 1। ठीक है। The applicant shall bear the expenses which shall be reimbursed by the committee to the extent it ratifies, and the amount of expenses ratified by the committee shall be treated as fast track process cost। And for the purpose of this regulation, expenses means the fees to be paid to the IRP and other expenses, including the cost of engaging professional advisors to be incurred by the IRP। ठीक है। Resolution professional costs. The committee shall fix the expenses to be incurred on or by the RP, and the expenses shall constitute fast track process costs। And for the purpose of this regulation, expenses means the fees to be paid to the RP and other expenses, including the cost of engaging professional advisors to be incurred by the RP। ठीक है। Now resolution plan. The registered valuer appointed under regulation 26, एक ही registered valuer appoint होगा, shall submit to the RP an estimate of the fair value and of the liquidation value computed in accordance with internationally accepted valuation standards after physical verification of the inventory and fixed assets of the corporate debtor। ठीक है। और इवेल्यूशन कब होगा, एज ऑन द फास्ट ट्रैक कमेंसमेंट डेट। After the receipt of the resolution plans in accordance with the code and these regulations, the RP shall provide the fair value and the liquidation value to every member of the committee। ठीक है। ये कब देना है, फेयर वैल्यू और लिक्विडेशन वैल्यू मेंबर्स ऑफ द कमिटी को, आफ्टर द रिसीट ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान्स।
Yes, sir.
ठीक है। And on receiving an undertaking from the member to the effect that such member shall maintain confidentiality of the fair and liquidation value and shall not use such value for undue gain or undue loss to itself or any other। ठीक है। The resolution professional and registered valuer shall maintain the confidentiality of the fair value and the liquidation value। ठीक है। Information memorandum subject to sub regulation 4, the resolution professional shall submit the information memorandum in electronic form। to each member of the committee within 2 weeks of his appointment as a resolution professional. Okay. And each prospective resolution applicant latest by the date of invitation of resolution plans under clause H of subsection 2 of section 25 of the code. Okay. An information memorandum shall contain the following details of the corporate data, assets and liabilities with such description as on the insolvency commencement date as are generally necessary for ascertaining their values, and description includes the details such as date of acquisition, cost of acquisition, remaining useful life, identification number, depreciation charge, book value, and any other relevant details. Latest annual financial statements, audited financial statements for the last 2 financial years, and provisional financial statement for the current financial year made up to a date not earlier than 14 days from the date of the application. List of creditors containing the names of creditors, the amounts claimed by them, the amount of their claims admitted, and the security interest, if any, in respect of such claims. Particulars of a debt due from or to the corporate debtor with respect to related parties. Details of guarantees that have been given in relation to debts of the corporate debtor by other persons, specifying which of the guarantors is a related party. Names and addresses of the members or partners holding at least 1% stake in the corporate debtor along with the size of the stake. Details of all material litigation and an ongoing investigation or proceeding initiated by government and statutory authorities. Number of workers and employees and liabilities of the corporate debtor towards them. Other information which the resolution professional deems relevant to the committee. And a member of the committee may ask for further information and then it has to be provided within a reasonable time. Okay. The resolution professional shall share the information memorandum after receiving an undertaking from a member of the committee or a prospective resolution applicant to the effect that such member or resolution applicant shall maintain confidentiality of the information and shall not use such information to cause an undue gain or undue loss to itself or any other person and comply with the requirements under subsection 2 of section 20. Then invitation of resolution plans. यहाँ पर भी थोड़ा सा टाइमलाइंस में फर्क है. The resolution professional shall issue an invitation including evaluation metrics to the prospective resolution applicants in accordance with clause H of subsection 2 of section 25 to submit resolution plans at least 15 days before the last date of submission of resolution plans. ठीक है, जो भी लास्ट डेट रहेगी उससे कम से कम आपको 15 दिन पहले क्या करना है, एक इन्विटेशन देना है. ठीक है, मतलब 15 दिन का टाइम उसको देना है फॉर सबमिशन ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान्स. Where the invitation does not contain the evaluation matrix, मतलब आपने इन्विटेशन तो दे दिया लेकिन उसमें इवेल्यूशन मैट्रिक्स नहीं लगाया. ठीक है, the resolution professional shall issue with the approval of the committee the evaluation matrix to the prospective resolution applicants at least 8 days before the last date for submission of resolution plans. ठीक है, the resolution professional may modify the invitation, the evaluation matrix or both with the approval of the committee within the timelines given under sub-regulation 1 or sub-regulation 2 as the case may be. The timeline specified under this regulation shall not apply to an ongoing fast-track corporate insolvency resolution process. ठीक है, ये कुछ चेंज हुआ था बीच में, इसके लिए है not of much relevance. Resolution plan. A resolution plan shall provide for the measures as may be necessary for insolvency resolution of the corporate debtor for maximization of the value of its assets, including but not limited to the following: transfer of all or part of the assets of the CD to one or more persons, sale of all or parts of the assets, whether subject to any security interest or not, the substantial acquisition of shares of the corporate debtor or the merger or consolidation of the corporate debtor with one or more persons, satisfaction or modification of any security interest, curing or waiving of any breach of the terms of any debt due from the corporate debtor, reduction in the amount payable to the creditors, extension of a maturity date or a change in interest rate. So all these things may be suggested by the resolution applicant in the resolution plan. You know, amendment of the constitutional documents, issuance of securities for cash, property, securities or in exchange for claims or interests or other appropriate purpose, change in portfolio of goods or services produced or rendered, change in technology, and obtaining necessary approval from the central and state government or other authorities. Now, mandatory contents. A resolution plan shall identify specific sources of funds that will be used to pay the fast track process costs and provide that the fast track process cost will be paid in priority to any other creditor. Second, liquidation value due to operational creditors and provide for such payment in priority to any financial creditor, which shall in any event be made before the expiry of 30 days after the approval of a resolution plan by the adjudicating authority. Okay? So there is no such time limit in case of CIRP, but it says it has to be made before the expiry of 30 days after the approval of a resolution plan. Then liquidation value due to dissenting financial creditors and provide that such payment is made before any recoveries are made by the financial creditors who voted in favor of the resolution plan. Right? Just a moment. A resolution plan shall include a statement as to how it has dealt with the interest of all stakeholders, including financial creditors and operational creditors of the corporate data. A resolution plan shall provide the terms of the plan and its implementation schedule, the management and control of the business of the corporate data during its term, and adequate means for supervising its implementation. A resolution plan shall contain details of the resolution applicant and other connected persons to enable the committee to assess the credibility of such applicant and other connected persons to take a prudent decision while considering the resolution plan for its approval. Okay. And for the purpose of this sub-resolution, details shall include the following in respect of the resolution applicant and other connected persons, namely identity, conviction for any offense, if any, during the preceding 5 years, criminal proceedings pending, if any, disqualification, if any, under the Companies Act to act as a director, identification as a willful defaulter, if any, by any bank or financial institution or consortium, debarment, if any, from accessing to or trading in securities market under any order or directions of the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Okay. And transactions, if any, with the corporate data in the preceding 2 years. So this is also important. So if any transactions are there with the corporate data in the preceding 2 years, that has to be seen. The expression connected person means the persons who are promoters or in the management or control, persons who will be the promoters or in the management or control of the business of the corporate data during the implementation, and holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, and related party of the persons referred to in item C and B. Basically, it is a reproduction of 29A. Approval of resolution plan. A resolution applicant shall submit resolution plans prepared in accordance with the code and these regulations to the resolution professional within the time given in the invitation made under clause H of subsection 2 of section 25. The resolution professional shall submit to the committee all resolution plans which comply with the requirements along with preferential transactions, undervalued, extortionate, fraudulent transactions and the orders, if any, of the adjudicating authority. Committee may approve any resolution plan with such modifications as it may deem fit. The committee shall, while approving the resolution plan, specify the amounts payable from resources under the resolution plan for the purposes under sub-regulation 1 of regulation 37. The resolution professional shall submit the resolution plan approved by the committee to the adjudicating authority at least 15 days before the expiry of the maximum period permitted under section 56. Suppose 90 days is the maximum period, then it has to be submitted by 75th day. Okay. For the completion of the fast track CIRP with the certification that the contents of the resolution plan meets all the requirements of the code and regulations and the resolution plan has been approved by the committee. Okay. Sure. No proceeding shall be initiated against the IRP or RP as the case may be for any actions of the corporate data prior to the fast track commencement date. and a person in charge of the management or control of the business and operations of the city, after a resolution plan is approved by the adjudicating authority, may make an application to the adjudicating authority for an order seeking the assistance of the local district administration in implementing the terms of a resolution plan. ठीक है, extension. So regarding extension, if the committee is of the opinion that fast track it cannot be completed within stipulated 90 days, then it may instruct the RP to make an application. Okay. And the RP on receiving the instructions may make an application to the adjudicating authority. ठीक है, केस स्टडी एक देख लेते हैं, सिंपल सी केस स्टडी है। XYZ प्राइवेट लिमिटेड स्टार्टेड इट्स ऑपरेशंस इन दिसंबर 2014। ठीक है, तो दिसंबर 2014 में इसके ऑपरेशन शुरू हुए। इट इज रजिस्टर्ड एज ए स्टार्टअप विद DIPP। ठीक है, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल प्रमोशन एंड पॉलिसी। इट्स टर्नओवर ड्यूरिंग द फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2023-24 वाज 80 crores and its investment in plant and machinery was 50 crores। ठीक है, it incurred a default of 2 crores in the month of November 2023। Now, based on the above facts, please answer the following questions। क्वेश्चन तो क्लियर है, दोबारा आ जाएंगे इस पर अगर हमें देखना होगा कुछ तो। ठीक है, मेन मेन बातें देख लीजिए। दिसंबर 2014 में ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट किया, टर्नओवर 80 करोड़ है, इन्वेस्टमेंट इन प्लांट एंड मशीनरी 50 करोड़ है, और डिफॉल्ट है 2 करोड़ का। तो व्हाट आर द ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल? अच्छा, प्री पैक तो हमने किया भी नहीं अभी, तो क्या ये प्री पैक में जा सकती है? प्री पैक छोड़ देते हैं, चलो फास्ट ट्रैक में जा सकती है या नहीं जा सकती? फास्ट ट्रैक तो हमने पढ़ा है अभी।
जा सकते हैं सर।
अच्छा, तो फास्ट ट्रैक के लिए क्या क्या कंडीशंस है हमारी?
सर, टर्नओवर शुड नॉट बी एक्सीडिंग 100 crore
हाँ ठीक है,
और 10 years स्टार्ट हुए 10 years से ज्यादा नहीं होने चाहिए।
हम्म,
प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी की भी कंडीशन सेटिस्फाइड हो रही है सर।
हम्म।
नहीं मतलब नहीं।
ये फॉर्म इससे पहले वाला, चलिए। Now XYZ Limited decided to file an application under fast track. Which of the following is not a mandatory document to be attached with the application? इनमें से कौन सा डॉक्यूमेंट ऐसा है जो लगाना जरूरी नहीं है? ये फॉर्म 6 के अंदर आपको इसका आंसर मिलेगा। जब आप फॉर्म 6 देखेंगे तो फॉर्म 6 में ना आपको डॉक्यूमेंट्स दे रखे हैं कि कौन कौन से आपको एप्लीकेशन के साथ में लगाने हैं डॉक्यूमेंट्स। तो फॉर्म 6 से देख करके बता सकते हैं आप कौन सा लगाना जरूरी नहीं है? एक बार वो वाली दूसरी वाली PPT देख लेते हैं, उसके अंदर होगा। फॉर्म 6 खोल लेते हैं एक बार। मेरे ख्याल बोर्ड को कॉपी देना जरूरी नहीं है शायद, देखते हैं। ये CIRP रेगुलेशन आपके आ गए 56 to 160। नहीं 56 भी नहीं आएगा, इसका आएगा ये एप्लीकेशन टू एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी रूल्स, ये 161, 161 to 178। ये मैं आपको साथ शेयर करता हूँ एक बार, यहाँ ये आपके यहाँ मिलेगा आपको, है ना, एप्लीकेशन टू एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी रूल्स के अंदर ये रूल्स मैंने निकाल लिए। अब इसमें फॉर्म 6 देख लेंगे हम। फॉर्म 6 के साथ में लिखा हुआ है कि क्या कर, ये फॉर्म 6 है ना,
सर बोर्ड को देनी जरूरी है।
है।
लास्ट में नेक्स्ट 10 है सर, प्रूफ दैट अ कॉपी ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन हैज बीन सर्व्ड टू द बोर्ड।
हाँ, बोर्ड को देनी तो जरूरी है, ठीक है ना। और ये चीजें यहां से, उसके बाद में बोर्ड को कॉपी देनी है, सीडी को कॉपी, सीडी को कॉपी देनी जरूरी नहीं है ना, क्यों, सीडी तो खुद ही एप्लीकेशन लगा रहा है ना।
यस सर।
ये फॉर्म 6 तो लगाता ही सीडी है ना,
हाँ जी।
अपने आपको क्या कॉपी देगा, है ना। तो बी हो जाएगा इसका आंसर।
सर
चलिए, उसके बाद में बाय व्हाट डेट कैन द एप्लीकेशन बी फाइल्ड, कितने दिन में एप्लीकेशन फाइल हो सकती है ये फास्ट ट्रैक वाली।
सर लिमिटेशन पीरियड ही रहेगा 3 इयर्स।
हाँ, हाँ, तो भाई नॉर्मल लिमिटेशन पीरियड तो 3 इयर्स ही है ना। तो अगर यही वाली ऑप्शन दी होंगी तो हमें बी ऑप्शन ही चूज करना पड़ेगा,
यस।
है ना। कैन ए CIRP एप्लीकेशन भी कन्वर्टेड इनटू फास्ट ट्रैक, CIRP को फास्ट ट्रैक में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं क्या।
नो ना सर।
नहीं
नो, बट
ये
वाइस
ऑप्शन।
वर्सा इज पॉसिबल, है ना।
यस।
फास्ट ट्रैक को आप CIRP में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो बेस्ड ऑन द रिपोर्ट ऑफ द IR, है ना। Suppose it is converted into normal CIRP. In that case, it will be treated as an application under section.
7। नहीं सर, सेक्शन 10 सर।
हाँ, सेक्शन 10 वाली एप्लीकेशन ही हो, यहाँ पर वो चीज नहीं है, वो है आपका प्री पैक के अंदर। हाउ मेनी रजिस्टर्ड वैल्यूअर्स हैव टू बी अपॉइंटेड इन केस ऑफ फास्ट ट्रैक।
1 सर।
1, ठीक है। इनविटेशन ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान हैज टू बी गिवन बाय,
एटलीस्ट 20,
अभी तो,
एटलीस्ट 15 days बिफोर द
हाँ
लास्ट डेट
अभी
फॉर।
पढ़ा था हमने, हाँ, एटलीस्ट 15 days बिफोर द लास्ट डेट फॉर सबमिशन ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान, है ना। मैंने इसीलिए रेगुलेशन नंबर भी लिख दिया है, ताकि रेगुलेशन में अगर कोई चेंज होगा तो वहां पर आंसर ऑटोमेटिकली चेंज हो जाए। व्हाट इज द लास्ट डेट फॉर अप्रूवल ऑफ रेजोल्यूशन प्लान्स बाय COC। इसका आंसर आपको मिलेगा रेगुलेशन 38 में। तो रेगुलेशन 38 क्या बोलता है भाई, 90 डेज, 90 डेज का आपके पास पीरियड है ना, तो लास्ट डेट फॉर अप्रूवल 15 डेज पहले होना चाहिए आप। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट ए मैंडेटरी कंटेंट ऑफ द रेजोल्यूशन प्लान।
सर इफ यू जस्ट टेक दैट क्वेश्चन 8 सर, एक स्लाइड जरा
यस, हाँ,
उसमें सर 75 days और 15 days फ्रॉम द इश्यू ऑफ रिक्वेस्ट, तो इसमें तो सर 30, 21, 15 और 45, तो विच वन वुड बी द करेक्ट आंसर सर। 75 days आपने लिखा ना सर आंसर,
हाँ
30 days, 21 days,
भाई, आप
15 days।
देखो ना, इसमें पता क्या होगा, ये जो इश्यू ऑफ रिक्वेस्ट है ना, तो यहां से 45 डेज हो जाएगा, 15 दिन उसको देंगे फॉर सबमिशन, 15 दिन फिर अप्रूवल के लिए होते हैं। एक्चुअली अगर आप देखें कि बाय व्हाट डेट दिस इशू ऑफ रिक्वेस्ट फॉर रेजोल्यूशन प्लान हैज टू बी मेड, at least 15 days have to be given to the resolution applicant for submission of resolution plan.
Yes, sir.
And by 75th day it has to be approved, अगर एक्सटेंशन नहीं है तो, क्योंकि 15 डेज आपको एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी को देने हैं।
तो आंसर विल बी सर, आंसर विल बी डी इन दैट केस सर, क्योंकि आपने 15 या 30 करे, वो 45 डेज वो आंसर रहेगा क्या सर?
45 days रहेगा, 45 days from the issue of request for resolution plans.
राइट, ओके ओके।
Which of the following is not a mandatory content of the resolution plan? इसमें क्या है कि मैंडेटरी कंटेंट में ना आपको क्रिमिनल प्रोसीडिंग्स देनी है, सिविल प्रोसीडिंग्स देने का जरूरत, तो आंसर शुड बी बी। द इंफॉर्मेशन मेमोरेंडम नीड नॉट बी शेयर्ड विद, किसके साथ शेयर नहीं करना है?
The registered valuers.
हाँ, रजिस्टर्ड वैल्यू के साथ शेयर नहीं करना है। इसका आंसर है ए, बी एंड डी, इसके साथ शेयर नहीं करना है। आपको सस्पेंडेड बोर्ड के साथ भी शेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपको मेंबर ऑफ सीओसी के साथ ही शेयर करना है, लिखा है। तो 10 का आंसर हो जाएगा ए, बी और डी, और 9th का आंसर हमारा हो गया बी, सिविल प्रोसीडिंग्स। 8th का आंसर क्या कहता है हमारा?
D.
8th का आंसर है ए, 30 days फ्रॉम द इशू ऑफ रिक्वेस्ट फॉर रेजोल्यूशन प्लान्स। वो रेगुलेशन नंबर 38 पढ़ेंगे तो क्लैरिटी आ जाएगी, कोई दिक्कत। मैं इसके साथ ना आपको वो भी टाइमलाइंस भी इसकी शेयर कर दूंगा। आई थिंक आई हैव मेड द टाइमलाइंस आल्सो फॉर दिस प्रोसेस। ये तो हमने कर ही लिया सारा, दिस वी हैव कवर्ड। Okay, 10 to 15, 17 to 26. अच्छा, तो दीज आर सम मोर क्वेश्चंस, इसको भी कर सकते हैं। एक ये देखिए, ये तो हमने कर ही लिया। डेफिनेशन ऑफ स्मॉल कंपनी, नाउ वेदर दिस कंपनी इज कवर्ड, ये यहां पर है, कवर हो जाएगी क्या फास्ट ट्रैक में? पेड अप कैपिटल 4 करोड़, कॉल्स इन एरियर्स है 2,50,000, एक्यूमुलेटेड लॉसेस 7,50,000। तो कवर हो जाएगी हमारी, है ना? As per section 56, which of the following is not entitled to make an application for fast track? बेसिकली क्या कहता है वो, डेटर और क्रेडिटर कहता है ना? तो ये सारे all of the above should be the answer to this. An insolvency professional was an independent director of KYZ Private Limited 2 years ago. Can he become a resolution professional? क्या अभी रेजोल्यूशन प्रोफेशनल बन सकता है? 2 साल पहले ये इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर था, बन सकता है, कोई इसमें बार नहीं है,
Yes, sir.
है ना? विद, क्योंकि अगर आप रेगुलेशन नंबर 3 देखें तो आपको क्लैरिटी आ जाएगी। रेगुलेशन नंबर 3 है ना, बिल्कुल क्लियर है उसमें। यहाँ रेगुलेशन नंबर 3 देख लेते हैं, ये है रेगुलेशन नंबर 3। इफ इज एलिजिबल टू बी अपॉइंटेड, नॉट ए रिलेटेड पार्टी, हैज नॉट बीन एन एम्प्लॉय और प्रोपराइटर और पार्टनर एट एनी टाइम इन द प्रीसीडिंग 3 years। ठीक है। अब इसी के बजाय अगर आप लिख दोगे होल टाइम डायरेक्टर था या मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर था, तो फिर तो एम्प्लॉय में कवर्ड हो जाएगा वो।
यस सर।
तो डिपेंड करता है कि क्वेश्चन पूछा कैसे गया है। ये हो गया। अच्छा, एज पर रेगुलेशन नंबर 4, विदाउट प्रेजुडिस to section 72D, the IRP may access the books of account, record and other relevant documents. ठीक है। Whether IRP can ask documents lying with the advocate of the company undergoing fast track process. अगर एडवोकेट के पास कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, क्या मांग सकते हो? नहीं मांग सकते। इसमें यह है कि एडवोकेट इज नॉट कवर्ड। एनी कम्युनिकेशन बिटवीन द एडवोकेट एंड हिज क्लाइंट इज ए प्रिविलेज्ड कम्युनिकेशन। तो वो बोलेगा भाई देखो मेरे पास जो कम्युनिकेशन है वो कंपनी के पास भी, कंपनी से मांगो आप। Regulation 62C. Besides other information, public announcement made shall provide the last date for submission of dash, which shall be 10 days from the, क्या आंसर हो?
क्लेम्स।
हाँ, which shall be 10 days from the,
अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ आईआरपी। डेट ऑफ अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ आईआर।
ये आंसर यहां दे रखे हैं बाद में। स्लाइड नंबर कौन सी है हमारे को, ये देख लेंगे। ये आपका रेगुलेशन नंबर 62C देखोगे तो क्लियर हो जाएगा। 62C देख लेते हैं एक बार क्विकली। ये 62C है, क्या कहता है ये? प्रोवाइड द लास्ट डेट फॉर सबमिशन ऑफ प्रूफ्स ऑफ क्लेम। ठीक है जी, एक तो प्रूफ्स ऑफ क्लेम है, विच शैल बी 10 डेज फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ द आईआरपी। ठीक है जी। तो वर्ड क्या लिखा है वहां पर? प्रूफ्स ऑफ क्लेम। तो आपका आंसर ये हो जाएगा, नन ऑफ द अबव, क्योंकि इनमें से कोई सा भी सही नहीं है। Once an IRP has constituted a committee, he shall inform the following persons. किस किस को बताना है? बोर्ड को, एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी को, रजिस्ट्रार को, ऑल ऑफ द अबव। ये आपका हिंट दिया हुआ रेगुलेशन नंबर 17(1) में। किस किस को बताना है जब कमेटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूट हो जाएगी?
बोर्ड को।
ये है जी 17 कहता है किस किस को बताना है। नहीं, 17 में था, किसमें था ये?
The 17 है, the IRP shall file a report certifying the constitution of the committee to the adjudicating authority on or before expiry of 21 days.
एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी को बता। As per regulation 37(3) explanation 2, which of the following shall not be covered under connected persons? कौन कनेक्टेड पर्सन? देखो, कनेक्टेड पर्सन में कौन कवर होता है? या तो जो प्रेजेंट प्रमोटर्स होते हैं या प्रोस्पेक्टिव प्रमोटर्स। जो पहले रहे हैं प्रमोटर पास्ट, दे आर नॉट कवर्ड। पर्संस हु हैड बीन द प्रमोटर्स और इन द मैनेजमेंट और कंट्रोल, दे आर नॉट कवर्ड। ठीक है, तो सी शुड बी द आंसर। एज पर रेगुलेशन 25(4), द रेजोल्यूशन पर्सनल शैल, ये तो अभी किया ही था हमने क्वेश्चन, है ना, अभी पढ़ा ही था हमने। क्या था इसमें? ये कहता है सर्कुलेट द मिनट्स ऑफ द मीटिंग बाय इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीन्स टू ऑल मेंबर्स ऑफ द कमिटी within 48 hours of the conclusion of the meeting and seek a vote on the matters listed for voting in the meeting from the members of the committee who did not participate in the meeting or did not vote at the meeting, if any, by electronic means or electronic voting system, where the voting shall be kept open for
At least 24 hours.
सही है। तो आपका रेगुलेशन नंबर 25 सब रेगुलेशन 4 में अगर आप देख लोगे तो आपको मिल जाएगा। ये है
सर एक क्वेश्चन है
25 4 लिखता है शैल बी केप्ट ओपन फॉर 24 आवर्स। इसमें एटलीस्ट नहीं लिखा इसने वर्ड, इसीलिए क्वेश्चन बनाया।
Yes.
अब अगर दो ऑप्शन आपके पास हो जाए 24 आवर्स या एटलीस्ट 24 आवर्स, तो आपको ये 24 आवर्स लिखना
सर प्रेसाइजली वो 24 आवर्स लिखते हैं, तो यू हैव टू, दैट्स वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग, एटलीस्ट एंड 24।
नहीं भाई देखो, जो रेगुलेशन में लिखा हुआ आंसर करना पड़ेगा आपको तो।
सर एक क्वेश्चन है,
यस प्लीज।
मिनट्स ऑफ मीटिंग 48 आवर्स के अंदर देने होते हैं,
बिल्कुल ठीक है।
मैंडेटरी है। अगर वो टाइम पीरियड आगे हो जाता है 48 आवर्स के बाद, तो क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस है?
नहीं, कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस तो देखो ऐसा है कि सीआईआरपी में क्या लिखा है, सीआईआरपी में लिखा है कि अगर कोई भी एक्टिविटी आपका जो भी टाइम पीरियड स्पेसिफाइड है उसमें नहीं होती तो आपको इंटीमेट करना, आपको आईपीए को इंटीमेट करना, बोर्ड को इंटीमेट करना। वो सीआईआरपी 7 नंबर फॉर्म है ना उसके लिए। उसमें जो भी आप जैसे मान लीजिए पब्लिक अनाउंसमेंट है, इफ इट हैज टू बी मेड विद इन 3 days, अगर आपने नहीं किया तो आपको इन्फॉर्म करना।
ओके
हाँ, तो वर्ड इसमें इसका आंसर आ जाएगा सी, 24 आवर्स। एज पर रेगुलेशन 22, quorum at the meeting. A meeting of the committee shall be quorate if members of the committee representing at least 33% are present in either in person or by video conference. Provided that the committee may modify the percentage of voting right. तो modify का मतलब क्या है? Increase, decrease, any. ये कुछ भी हो सकता है। Modify का मतलब it may increase also, it may decrease also. As per Regulation 37, the resolution plan shall include certain details in respect of the resolution applicant and other connected persons. Which of the following details is not covered? ठीक है, तो हमारा सिविल प्रोसीडिंग्स
Civil
इसमें कवर्ड
proceeding.
नहीं। ये इसके आंसर्स भी दे रखे हैं। ठीक है, तो हमने मोटा मोटा इस फास्ट ट्रैक को कवर कर लिया है। अब एक सवाल और लास्ट में ले लेते हैं। इसमें ये कोई एक लाइन लिखी है, क्या कहता है? प्रोवाइडेड दैट सच एंटिटी इज नॉट फॉर्म्ड बाय स्प्लिटिंग अप और रिकंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ ए बिजनेस ऑलरेडी इन एग्जिस्टेंस। ठीक है, अगर कोई बिजनेस ऑलरेडी इन एग्जिस्टेंस था और ये जो एंटिटी है इट इज नॉट फॉर्म्ड बाय स्प्लिटिंग अप और रिकंस्ट्रक्शन। सपोज एक पहले पार्टनरशिप फर्म थी, अब पार्टनरशिप फर्म को कन्वर्ट कर दिया इन्होंने प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी में। ठीक है, तो वो फिर एंटिटी इसमें कवर नहीं होगी। इस पर भी कभी सवाल पूछ लेते हैं एग्जामिनेशन में, तो ये पॉइंट भी अपने को ध्यान में रखना है। सच एंटिटी इज नॉट फॉर्म्ड बाय स्प्लिटिंग अप और रिकंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ ए बिजनेस ऑलरेडी इन एग्जिस्टेंस। तो अगर ऐसा कोई हिंट देता है वो एग्जाम में कि भाई ये पहले ये थी बाद में इसको हमने कन्वर्ट कर दिया, तो फिर ये कवर नहीं होगी स्टार्टअप में। इस पर सवाल पूछ लेता कई बार। बाकी तो कोई खास बात नहीं है, हमने मोटा मोटा कवर कर ही लिया सारा। है ना, तो आज की कथा यहीं समाप्त करते हैं। बाकी किसी को कुछ है? हाँ पूछिए
जो sale of assets outside the ordinary course of business, in case
हाँ
of CIRP, it is 66%.
हाँ, तो वहां पर 66 लिखा है ना, लेकिन यहाँ कुछ नहीं लिखा है इन्होंने।
हाँ जी।
अगर कुछ नहीं लिखा है, ये भी बात लिखी गई है सीआईआरपी में कि अगर कहीं कुछ नहीं लिखा है तो फिर नॉट लेस देन 51% मानिए उसको।
यस सर।
ये भी सेक्शन में लिखा है। सेक्शन कौन सा है मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा। सेक्शन शायद
It's in section
24 है, कौन सा है?
sir 20.
ये बात किसी सेक्शन में लिखी गई है कि अगर कोई परसेंटेज स्पेसिफाइड नहीं है
So
तो
it's
फिर आपको
21.8.
है।
Section 21, subsection 8.
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही। तो ये भी पॉइंट आपको ध्यान में रखना है। और ये जो बात आप कह रहे थे ना मैडम कि अगर लेट होगा तो क्या होगा, वो भी दिखा देता हूं मैं आपको। ये देखिए, CIRP 7 है उसके लिए फॉर्म। वो ये कहता है, देखो यहां पर टाइमलाइंस दे रखी हैं, ठीक है। और टाइमलाइंस में कहता है वेयर एनी एक्टिविटी इज नॉट कंप्लीट बाय द डेट स्पेसिफाइड देयर इन द IRP और RP एट द केस में भी शैल फाइल फॉर्म CIRP 7। फॉर्म आपको CIRP 7 फाइल करना पड़ेगा। देखो टाइमलाइंस दे रखी है सारी, है ना, कितने दिन में कौन सी एक्टिविटी करनी। तो अगर उसमें कंप्लीट नहीं हुई तो आपको CIRP 7 फाइल करना। और वो वाला पॉइंट भी देख लेते हैं एक बार 21.8 पे जो आप बता रहे हो, है ना। ये 21.8 आ गया। तो 21.8 क्या बोलता है? 21.8 ये बोलता है, सेव एज अदरवाइज प्रोवाइडेड इन दिस कोड, ऑल डिसीजंस ऑफ द कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स शैल बी टेकन। क्या लिख दिया कोड में? यहां ये भी नहीं लिखा कि दिस पार्ट या दिस चैप्टर। सेव एज अदरवाइज प्रोवाइडेड इन दिस कोड, ऑल डिसीजंस ऑफ द कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स शैल बी टेकन बाई वोट ऑफ नॉट लेस देन 51%। अगर स्पेसिफाइड नहीं है तो 51% लेना है, ठीक है। Provide that where a corporate debtor does not have any financial creditors, the committee of creditors shall be constituted and shall comprise of such persons to exercise such functions in such manner as may be specified। तो वो 18 लार्जेस्ट वाला कॉन्सेप्ट हमने पढ़ लिया है, ठीक है जी। तो आज की कथा यही समाप्त करते हैं, परसों फिर मिलते हैं। ओके, गुड नाइट।